Hi, I'm back again, and as promised, this is the video where I just kind of read over all of the characters' personalities and stories and their items that they have. And also, in the future, a little surprise might appear on my channel because me and two somebodies, are planning something, and hopefully it will happen. But at the moment we're still in the planning phase. But in the future, there might be a little new series that will appear on the channel. But otherwise, back to the video.
It's so nice to meet you. I've been waiting for so long.
X is an arcanist work, so he's an arcanist. Exhibited in the 1930s, so he's born around that time. For 16 years, he's probably 16 years old. Completed in spring on May 30th. Exhibited in the state of New York, USA, so he's an American, and he was born in New York. And later the exhibit was kept in the Institutum Lawrence. So he moved there and he's now living in the Institutum Lawrence. Chaos Butterfly. A product developed in Lawrence under the guidance of X, it is mainly used to determine the fluctuation of chaos particles in nearby regions and is commonly used to detect the use of arcane skills in the vicinity. The device is currently in the testing stage and will not go into mass production temporarily. Invaluable. Design supplies. Invaluable. Consisting of a pen given by an orphanage, a number of sketches and an old book, item enchanting essentials, it contains countless wild ideas and possibilities. Component. I think that's one crystal thing. I'm not really sure what this means actually. He calls it a useless brass tube that just happens to be in my pocket. But judging from its odd shape, it is easy to summarize that it's a crucial part of a huge machine. After the Second Industrial Revolution, countless factories were set up. The roar of machinery continued around the clock as the wave of modernization affected every aspect of American society. Radio, automobiles, steam-powered ships, and airplanes changed the way people lived. The Great Machine Age had arrived. Cutting-edge machinery could help people solve issues from dining to traveling, though they might be complex, sophisticated, and expensive. Rube Goldberg machines were thus born. They are convoluted, yet incredibly simple. In comparison with the mass-produced mechanical components in factories, Goldberg machines use parts that are much simpler and more absurd. Their invention might be meant to poke fun at the era of precise engineering, though nobody actually knows the truth. Some think this is a joke, but there are others who are very serious about it. Water, land, and air autonomous blimp. Sensational work by young engineering genius. He clutched at this newspaper in his hand and made a face at the picture of a teenager laughing in a giant blimp. He then smugly placed the newspaper in the most conspicuous spot in the cabinet, next to some oddly shaped machines. Then, the next day, he took the latest newspaper, where he found an even more eye-catching headline. A foolish genius? No plans of selling the blimp's design? Next, a breadcrumb spraying dispenser. He pouted and muttered, sounding slightly put out. They're so harsh, I'm no more than an average Joe. Another newspaper was carefully placed in the cabinet. Pandora Wilson, please introduce this exquisite mechanical ball you're holding. X, it's just a toy I made for fun. Instead, I'd like to introduce this auto-seduction lipstick I've just invented. Have a look. Is there anyone in the world better suited to test it out? Pandora Wilson, that's alright. What an impressive invention. Pandora Wilson. Let's talk about something else. There was an accident at an orphanage a few years ago, in a year you were present. X. Oh? If you want to discuss topics that have nothing to do with the interview, you have to test this bubblegum spraying alarm clock in exchange, okay? Pandora Wilson. The deceased appeared to have been killed by a loose shingle from the roof. The angle, wind speed, and power it had was incredibly precise. X. Oh, such is life. It's filled with coincidences and accidents. Don't be sad. Now, let's try this mini priest bouncer and pray for him, shall we? Pandora Wilson. Please excuse me. X. Singing a tune. Pandora Wilson. Ouch! Don't pull me. X. Singing a tune. Pandora Wilson. Also singing a tune.
Stop talking. It's time for a checkup. Please open your mouth.
Tooth Fairy is an arcanist artwork, so she's an arcanist. Completed in November 27th, her birthday. It was first exhibited in the 1990s, around when she was born, and has remained on display for 25 years. She's most likely 25 years old. Originally on display in Cheshire, Great Britain, it's currently touring the world. So, was born in Britain, Cheshire, Britain, but is now going around the world probably on missions with me because I take her everywhere. Brace. Custom metal braces offering a fair balance between functionality and convenience. Simple and secure enough to defend against any threat. For her, this is ideal. I think it's 270 crystals worth? Not quite sure. Glass jar, and it's 80 of those golden coins. An old worn glass jar with an aluminum lid that once contained jam or perhaps pickles. Nothing else is known to effectively contain the winged tooth fairies. It's a commonplace item, but ingenious uses can be found for it with enough imagination. Baby tooth necklace. Invaluable. These teeth were extracted from different mouths. Small, fine, and with pristine white enamel, their beauty is more befitting of a necklace than a string of pearls. People have long paid close attention to teeth. As far back as ancient Egypt, people were already coming up with ways to protect and care for their teeth. In ancient Greece, in the time of Pericles and Hippocrates, the father of medicine, wrote down the treatment of tooth decay and gum disease. The electric dental drill was first patented in the 1870s. In 1905, a German scientist first synthesized the local anesthetic drug procaine. But none of this has anything to do with the 7-year-old tooth fairy. She was just a child plagued with toothache. The agonizing pain was like a congenital curse. Curled up on her side, alone with her eyes open wide, she quietly endured countless 8-hour countdowns until she saw that little thing making off with a baby tooth from beneath her pillow. Without a moment's hesitation, she reached out and caught the little creature by the belly, between her fingers. It struggles persistently, sprinkling her arm in wing dust, but that didn't matter. She instinctively inserted it into her mouth. She ate slowly, or was it quickly? She'd already lost track of time. When she finally emerged from the sensation, the toothaches were gone. She knew her teeth would never hurt again. Tooth Fairy quietly lay back down upon the downy bed. She licked the glittering scale dust from her hand, recalling the Tooth Fairy's taste as it burst in her mouth. She remembered how it cursed her to have all her teeth stolen until she was left a miserable old crone. But she wasn't concerned. I have to become a dentist, she thought. I have to let every arcanist taste this. Number 74. Republic of France, Paris. Human child upper right first baby molar. Number 79, Republic of France, Nord-Pas-de-Calais, albino olitu, lower right 12th fang. Number 186, Republic of Poland, lower Vistula River, Europe bison, third pair of incisors. Number 322, Kingdom of Sweden, Lake Vänern, Nordic deer woman, upper left incisor, ... Pandora Wilson. Hello, Miss Campbell, Tooth Fairy. Hello, you can call me Tooth Fairy, Pandora Wilson. Ah yes, I'm familiar with the title, though I'm surprised that you'd go by the same name as those spirits. I was under the impression that you were on hostile terms. Tooth Fairy. Perhaps, but I don't feel that way about them. They single-mindedly collect teeth and strictly follow their own rules. That's all. I capture, keep, and kill them to make medicine. But in a way, I admire their approach. Pandora Wilson. It seems you formed a unique relationship. Tooth Fairy. I don't deny that. Pandora Wilson. So are you simply inclined to go by this name? Or do you resent your family name? Some people born to Arcanist families certainly feel that way, and to my knowledge, I mean no offense in saying this, the Campbells has always held a delicate position. Tooth Fairy. No offense taken. I am well aware of the Campbells family's methodology.
If possible, a knock on the door will be appreciated.
Click. An Arcanist work exhibited in the 1940s for 19 years. So he's an Arcanist and he was born around the 1940s and he's 19 years old. Damn, he's young. Completed in summer on June 28th, his birthday. First exhibition location unknown, but probably the USA, somewhere there. The exhibit later went all over the world. So he travels now. Photography case. I'm assuming it's 35 coins or golds that we use in the game. There is nothing special about its design and the color, but it's made of materials which are sturdy enough to survive all kinds of extreme cases, like a bomb. Thea 4 camera. I'm assuming it's the 4th series of the Thea cameras. And it's 571 crystals worth. A worn and damaged camera. Generally speaking, every photographer is supposed to take good care of their camera, but this photographer should be pardoned for failing to keep his camera in good condition given the nature of his job. Because he was blown up by a bomb anyways. Film. Invaluable. Mostly because it depends on the era and what type of film you're buying. But anyways. This is not an arcane item that would capture your soul at the click. It is much more precious than that. People always fail to recognize a mass atrocity when they are a part of it. From things as small as art left by tourists on ancient steles, to the lynchings in the square, or even more typically, full-scale wars. It always takes a long time before they finally feel the pain and truly reflect on what they have done. World War II was exactly a mixture of these tragedies. The camera has faithfully recorded the cruelty of war, missiles, gunfire, building ruins, and countless suffering. In front of these seemingly black and white yet in fact bloody photos, people finally came to their senses. In order to obtain these photos and wake the people up, he had to get closer and closer to dangers and capture these brutal moments until his body became as cold as reality. Sprint race with Miss Check and the carbuncle. Boy with umbrella still at work. The wolf and the girl in red cloak. Miss M. Current's wanted poster. X. trialogue between the spherical satellite, the UFO and cow, and Miss Xena. Miss Orb reciting a new poem. Pandora Wilson. Many are impressed by your works. Those dangerous moments on the battlefield are cruel, bloody, yet astounding. Click. Pandora Wilson. There are even doubts about their authenticity. Click. Pandora Wilson. Aren't you going to say anything to defend yourself? Won't you discuss your work philosophy, photographic composition, angles? Click. Thank you. Pandora Wilson. Confused. Click. They are true. The wars happened in front of me. Pandora Wilson. Looks like not all photographers are responsive to their surroundings. Click. An insect. Pandora Wilson. Confused again. With a short click, the camera perfectly captured the moment when the insect landed on Pandora Wilson. Click. New work. Miss Lips kisses nature.
Just the time I expected. Be my guest, timekeeper.
Calabona, an arcanist work. So she's an arcanist. Exhibited in the 1960s for 27 years. She was born around the 1960s and she's 27 years old. Completed in summer on July 15. So that's when she was born. Mainly exhibited in Mysore, a southern state of the Republic of India. The exhibit was once on a brief tour at London and later kept at the St. Pavlov Foundation. I would like to just say before we continue, even though I know it's the end of the video, I'd like to just say that any foreign words that I say throughout the video, I did look up on how to say it. So if I did say it wrong, it's Google's fault. Anyways, moving on. Tillich. I don't know what that is. This one specifically, if you're not watching the screen, the price. I don't know what the price is. Bindi. A traditional cosmetic marking commonly seen adorning the foreheads of Indian women. Gracious hosts will also place the bindi on the foreheads of distant travelers. The mark is more of a blessing than a vanity. The bright red may be derived from a slightly toxic mineral sulfate. Old denim windbreaker. Don't know what the price is. An old and simple windbreaker of unknown brand and a color that you'll have trouble trying to find a match for. Though the fashionistas tend to frown at it, this fabric is a comfortable texture and first-rate material. A pragmatist will find it hard to refuse. A gaze into the past, finder scope. Invaluable. An accessory to a large telescope, this device would hardly provide any actual observational function on its own, and it is a bit too cumbersome as a piece of decor. But it serves perfectly as a memento. Unlike Western astrology, Vedic astrology seldom focuses on humanity's self-understanding. Instead, this form of astrology attempts to avoid all phenomena that obscures their vision and goes straight to the nature of human soul. This board is like an instruction manual with detailed records of the ratio of joy to sorrows and the angle of fated paths. Humans are strange creatures. They are always curious about the unknown destiny, yet would attempt to fight it once it is revealed to them. Fortunately, the calamities resulting from the vain struggles are also recorded within this manual. Young children have yet to understand the true meaning behind disappointment. The abstract lines taken out of the board are just as cryptic as the insults and rejection from the male classmates of the same age. But the foster parents are too kind, to the point that no one else would give her a more tolerable place to stay, even if she wants to find a temporary place to stay away. But what else could she do? After returning home from the Hall of Astrology, the 11-year-old girl climbed up to the roof and looked upon the sparkling Empyrean. The manual may be prophetically accurate, but to hell with it, she thought to herself. She chose not to believe in whatever it said. Rearing a child is not an easy task. Fakini gently lifted her sari skirt and hurried down the soft muddy road. It was a beautiful and smart-looking baby, and extended its tiny hand from the cozy blanket under the sky, adorned with the stars and moon. It wasn't a good time, and neither was it a good place. Being an abandoned child was probably the least painful element of these endless tragedies. But they chose to take her tiny hand and protect her with their embrace. "You should discipline her." The young teacher was full of worry. She injured Daz and Rahil and almost kicked them off the observatory. "I'm not picking on her, but this is the 3rd time this week." "Really? Maybe we should ask the 2 rascals what they said to her to get beat up 3 times a week." "What? My daughter has solved the problem with her unique methods. You should be grateful that she has saved you the trouble of lecturing those scamps, Mr. Prakash." Vakini pauses mid-stride despite her fury. She lets go of the small hand she had been holding onto so tightly and angrily rummages about in her pocket by the entrance for her key. In the corner of her eye, she caught the silhouette of the girl attempting to fish her astrolabe out of her bag. She is a pretty and intelligent child, in whose veins run the distinctive blood of arcanists. She had been sent to her with the swaddling that contained her destiny. "Look, mother." Yet now the girl holds up her astrolabe, the back of which her destiny has been inscribed. This has been completely covered up by a dark doodle of a celestial body. Who cares? The ghost of a smile hovers about Vakini's lips as she mutters to herself and puts the key to the keyhole to twist it gently. This was their child, and that was all that mattered. Pandora Wilson. Not all interviewees are as punctual as you. At least they rarely show up, neither early nor late. Just on time. Kalabona. Punctuality is very beneficial to my work. I believe you could say the same for yourself. So was this interview something you expected? Kalabona. I had a feeling about it. Pandora Wilson. Have you tried changing all of this? For example, getting up and leaving this room, like you're throwing off the shackles of fate? Kalabona. Fate is not subjective. Divination was not created so we can turn our faces from fate. Pandora Wilson. So do you believe fate is objective? Kalabona. As objective as astrology, for one can only accept an outcome if one knows what led to it.